So this video is going to be a fun video because it's kind of just coming off of my dome. I just kind of thought about this in the middle of recording another video. I started talking about this and I was like, you know what? I'll just save this and record it in a minute. So what this video is about is that my church and we came up with, we are changing how we are doing news. This is our second time changing it up, and we will probably change it back eventually. But right now, this is what's working for us. News, whenever I first started on, was my wife's job, and then that's kind of how I got on. Was she was tired of doing news because it was very stressful because we were doing it week to week, just finding someone, trying to schedule with them, and then shooting it and editing it all for the Sunday. So it would be, let's say that someone would shoot on a Wednesday, it would need to be turned around and edited. The script would need to be done, editing, shooting, and everything by Sunday. And we would do that on, like, maybe the script would get written Monday, and then Wednesday we would shoot, Sunday would be the due date, which isn't a long time, but whenever you have 1,000 other things that you're doing, it gets very stressful. So that's how, whenever I came on, that's how we were doing it. Then I was like, actually, I don't know who came up with it. It may have been Pastor. Someone said, hey, why don't we change it to where it's one person for the whole month? So we would shoot one person. We would write out the script. Megan, my wife, still writes out the scripts. So she would write out a script for the whole month, and then we would shoot them at one time. And they would just go through the month. And that was very nice, very easy. Made my job way easier because literally we would shoot for, let's say, 7 to 15 minutes, depending on who it was, if they were good with scripts and everything like that. We would shoot that, and then I would go and edit it, and then I could just edit it either all in one batch, or I would do like 2 at one time, 2 at another. So I was always ahead. But we found that our congregation was kind of tuning out, and we were too. News. It was getting very boring, repetitive, because we would hit the same things each month. Each month we would hit on like our coffee bar, our dream team, baptism, if that was coming up. It would tap cards. It would be the same several things that we would talk about each month. And we found that people were just kind of like, oh, I don't need to retain this information because I heard about it last month. And like, yeah, maybe we would throw in an event every once in a while, but it was really the same type of script each week. So like the first week we would always hit on, because we would expect newer people, we would hit on tap cards and dream team, since that we were starting the first week of Grow Track was starting that Sunday. So it just kind of became this thing where people were just kind of tuning it out. So we went back and we looked at it, and our pastor brought this to our attention. He was like, I just find it that people are just tuning out because he's in the front and he can look. So what we did was we're like, okay, well, what if we did week to week? What if we went back to week to week? But we're not going to just talk about the same old, same old. We're not just going to hit up those several different things, because it was just getting crazy. Also, people were adding stuff to it. So it'd be like, it was those several things, and then they'd be like, hey, students would want to say something, or life groups would want to say. So then it was becoming where the script was becoming 3 minutes long, and we're like, this is just getting ridiculous. And a lot of it could have been an email. So that's kind of where this mindset came, was we're like, well, why don't we shoot news week to week, but we specifically hit one thing? And then everything else that we talk about. So like tap cards, for instance, no one was hitting the tap cards during news, but whenever Pastor Andy speaks about it from his message, hey, if you want to see what we're reading right now, hit the tap card. Or hey, if there's an event coming up, we would get way more taps to the tap card whenever he said it from stage. So we're like, okay, well, let's just cut that out of news. So now what we do is we'll hit up like one thing. So there's a ladies event coming up. So I had a lady who's running that come and just talk about it for 55 seconds. And then that way it's concise, it's more enjoyable. I try to change it up. We'll do black and white. We'll change the scenery. Sometimes we'll go outside. We're just trying to figure out ways to make it where people are more drawn. I'll add B-roll or different type of music, anything to just make people more engaged. And whenever it's 55 seconds compared to 3 minutes, and you're talking about one thing, no one is tuning it out as quickly. So that's what we're doing now. We might switch it back to where it's the whole month again, but right now this is working. So if you're finding that there's like this disconnect between you and your news and your congregation, and you're finding it kind of stale, or people are just kind of figure out how to change that up. So for us, like we're like, okay, well, student stuff, like let's say students, I also volunteer with our students, so that's why it's on the top of my mind. For student stuff, we're like, hey, we can do a lot of this where parents aren't even looking at the thing, but they're on their phones. We can text them a lot of the information that we need to know. Now, yes, there might be a student event coming up. So we have camp coming up at the beginning of this month, or next month, sorry, in June. And we will probably make a video of our student pastor talking about camp, but we're not going to talk about the week to week of what students is. That could be an email. The kids already kind of have an idea. Now, if we have a big event coming up, like our one night extreme, we'll then put that into news and be like, hey, this is coming up. Or like we're shooting a podcast on Tuesday, and we're gonna talk about our podcast and connecting. So we're gonna talk about the tap cards, but that's in a way where it can be like, hey, you can tap the tap cards, it'll take you to our app where you can watch our podcast. So we're just trying to figure out ways to really change it up a bit, and I think it's going really good. I'm more engaged on it. It is a little bit more stressful because sometimes I forget. I'm very busy. So sometimes I forget and I'll be like, oh crap, I need to like text a person to see if they can come in and shoot really quick. But I've been doing this for so long, and I know a lot more people in our church that I know who's more available during the week to weeks. People who might be retired or have their own business or are able to more flexible with their business, can kind of step out, come shoot a 5 minutes and then go back. So that's been very helpful. And the setup process is so simple now. I can literally knock it out in like 15 minutes. And that's more of me just trying to figure out where, grab everything and get the teleprompter. But it makes it really easy for me. I'm very much enjoying how we're doing it now. We've talked about switching it back, but I want to do this for at least another couple months, for as long as we can. Now, it's about to be very stressful because we're going to be missing 2 weeks in June. I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks for sure, maybe 3. And I'm going to need to have news done. So I am kind of like, oh man, I really need to figure out who I can shoot, what we're going to talk about. So Megan and I will talk about that and figure out how we're going to go through there. But again, I'd rather this where people are more engaged and getting information that they need than doing it where people aren't engaged. I'm shooting for way longer, editing for way longer. It takes me 30 minutes now to edit a video, and that's like color grading, that's syncing it up and everything like that. So yeah, if your church is kind of struggling in that area, that might be something that you can look at is how can we make news more engaging? Is there stuff that we can just put in text or email that doesn't need to be on news? Humans have the attention span now of literally an infant. Like there's just no attention span at all. So our job is to just make sure that people are more engaged and getting the information that they need, and that we're not having to say the same information 15 times. Yes, we're going to talk about the ladies event on news, but we're also going to post it on our socials. We'll probably make a nice little promo video for it. But news is where we first want them to hear it. But yeah, that's it for the video. This was literally just a video that I haven't scripted or anything because I was in the middle of shooting one, started talking about this and was like, actually, you know what? I'm just going to make this an actual video. So if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Comment down below how your church does news. I know that this is a very niche subject, or video announcements, whatever you want to call it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to always keep up with my latest videos. And like I say here at the end of all my videos, don't forget to learn, create, and inspire, and I'll see you in the next one.